All right, the January 8th, 2026 Agenda Review Meeting of the Greasetown Board will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Supervisor McCann.
Here.
Councilman DePonzio. Present. Councilman Bernard.
Here.
Councilwoman Miller. Present. Councilman Antelli.
All right, would you please stand, and Councilman Bernard will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll now have a moment of silent prayer. Okay, thank you. Okay, public forum. This is an opportunity to address the Greasetown Board on any issue of concern relative to the town of Greece. This is not a question and answer period, but a time for you to make your thoughts known to the board. If you'd like to provide the board with any type of paperwork, please leave it in the inbox located at the top of the lectern. The clerk will obtain all documents after the meeting and disperse them to the town board members. Please use the center aisle when approaching the lectern. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes to address the board in accordance with the town civility policy. Please state your name and address for the record. Is there anyone who cares to address the board? Okay.
Stephen DiBattisto, 364 Island Cottage Road. When Munipro sold the property behind me at 354 Island Cottage Road, it looked like they sold my portion of it. The deed was in 354 was in my name, and I would just and it looks like there was no instrument survey done of the property either. So I was just wondering if you could look into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Mr. Overton, if that's something we could research, that would be great.
Certainly, I can certainly do that. But I know there was title work done. For
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Manny Solta. I live at 631 Shortcliff Drive. I just want to say thank you to the board for listening to me, what I had to say in reference to a bill for tax reform for veterans. And I really appreciate the work that you've been doing so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is the volume okay for everybody here? Okay. Okay. Can we turn them up a little bit? Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just turned my mic off. That's why.
Yours are all off, huh?
Oops. I'll work on that. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay. Mr. Murphy?
Ryan Murphy, 197 Old Country Road. I don't know if we're still got to tell you our addresses and all that, but I'll make this one painless for you the first time. I want to congratulate all of you. I know you guys all went through a very tough campaign, and Mr. McCann, I know you've walked into an extremely difficult situation and you all have a lot of issues that you have to work with. This meeting here is a extremely important step forward for you, showing the community that you are serious about transparency and taking that step forward. There are obviously many more issues that we all have to deal with. I hope to see the continuance of this and steps forward, each and every month, each and every time we're all together. I've said this to you before, and I know everyone here feels the same way. If there's anything the residents can do to help you make our town a better place, please let us know, because it's not just your town, it's our town, and we all have to work to make it a better place. Thank you, and congratulations again.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I'm probably the youngest one here tonight, but I wish there was more people here. I wish there was more of a younger.
If you just wouldn't mind stating your name. And
Oh, my
address
name's
for the
Jay, Jay Pessin. I live on 284 McGuire Road, Ward 1. I just wish there was a lot more people here, considering how many people usually voice their opinions online. You know, it's all about showing up versus, you know what I mean. But so what I want to say is, you guys know that you walked into a rat's nest of what was left. Your former town supervisor did not leave things in as good a shape as maybe he walked into, and I'm sorry for you, but I know and I have trust that you guys can start off on a good foot. Being in town Ward 1, almost close to 3, there's a section of Greece that does worry me. A lot of people refer to it as Lost Greece, and that is the area of where you'll find like Cocina Latina, Perry's Pizza, the new O'Reilly Auto Parts, that section of Greece that is kind of the border of Ward 1 and 3. There's a lot of abandoned buildings or just buildings that could use either a new tenant or just some type of gentrification of the area. I would love to see, as well as I would like to see, and I know you guys have only been here 4 days, give you time, but I would like to see some type of conflict of interest with Michelle Marini and the town of Greece. I would like to see somewhat broken up, because there's no reason that a law firm should represent the town as well as Michelle Marini, and just doesn't make sense. As well as the very quick transition of land on Island Cottage Road, that I would still hope to see some form of EPA or DEC approval or regulation done to that land. It's very concerning that that land is not developed to me. It is poisonous land, and an overhaul needs to be done, as well as a complete audit of the town of Greece financial system and all of their books, everything. I don't want to be a thorn in your guys' side, but we want to start off on transparency, and that's all I want to see you guys do. And if you guys can do that, you'll have our trust also.
Sorry, I'll have this down before we're done here. Okay, Gina?
Hi, Gina DiBella, 224 Northwood Drive. Welcome, everyone. I'm very glad to see all the new faces here. I originally came just to observe, but I can't make it to the board meeting next week, so I thought I'd show up. And then when I heard there's an open forum, I said, well, I usually speak on historic preservation, and we'll see if that comes back to Greece. But I just wanted to take the opportunity to let you know that I just spent the last 2 evenings at zoning and planning board meetings for the proposed Delta Sonic in Wegmans Plaza. I know the town board can't really do anything legally about it, but I wanted you to be aware that residents are not happy with the project, and it's a monstrosity. Think about the Delta Sonic on West Henrietta Road and plop it over there in that spot. It's too large for the site and the location. It belongs on West Ridge Road. I know it's too late for that, but where it wouldn't impact residents as much. We can't fight it legally with traffic or sound studies because they've all been approved. But we can try to encourage the planning board to examine the impact of the size of the project and the interior road ring around it and how that will be impacted. So hopefully you'll pay attention to this project and support residents any way you can. If they reach out to you, even though you can't do something about it, or maybe you can do something, I'm not sure. But I just hope that you'll be open to residents, listening to residents and their concerns. And if there's any way you can help to reduce the size of this project, that would be wonderful too. On another note, I'm involved with the Greece Historical Society, and I wanted to invite you all to take part in their events and activities. In fact, coming up next Tuesday, January 13th at 7 p.m. at the library is former town supervisor Don Riley. He's going to speak on the contemporary history of Greece. So I'm sure the Historical Society would welcome anyone who would like to attend, and not just that event, but any event. So thank you.
What time is the next one?
7. Yep. Thanks.
Good evening, everybody. Brendan Bolson, 440 Shorecliff Drive. I wasn't originally intending on speaking tonight, but since the topic of Delta Sonic had come up, earlier today I was texting back and forth with David DePonzio a little bit, and I just started thinking about things that were said at the inauguration and the original plan for the town hall campus and all of this area around here. Taking a look at what's happened in Irondequoit with I-Square and some of the failed attempts to bring business in over there, there's obviously people who are saying the Delta Sonic might not have the best image, but I would say thinking forward at the plazas that we have in this area, maybe focus a little more on what it's going to look like as we bring businesses into this area to make this more of a center gathering area for the town, especially if it is the center of the town. One thing I referenced, and I don't even know how we could do something like this, is Casey and I took a trip, I believe it was in the fall, to Main Street in Hamburg, New York, and it's absolutely beautiful there. It's similar port-looking town to like Brockport or Spencerport, but updated, and the way the new facades are brought in, they're made to look like the old ones as well. So maybe some sort of consistency in bringing businesses in to just kind of clean up our area down here too, and make it a little more attractively, visually shoppable. So just a thought. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay, there being no more speakers, we'll close the public forum. Okay, the public forum's now closed. Before we get started, I'd just like to say something really quickly. Welcome to the first Agenda Review Committee meeting that we've had here. When I worked here 12 years ago, these were meetings that we had that were public meetings, and as we were talking and discussing ways to move forward and be transparent, we figured having a formal agenda review meeting would be the best way to do that. So I just want to take a second to talk about the process with this. And again, can you guys hear me okay? Is that okay? You know, it's our intention with this, and you know, I'll apologize to the board because we sent them the final version of the agenda here 3 times because we kept on adding things to that. It's our goal to have everything that we're going to have on the agenda at the full town board meeting available here. There will be things that pop up. There will be things that were unexpected that we would need to take action on before that. It's our intention to share those items with the board as quickly as we get them, and then also we will add them to the agenda that we'll update online with that. So, and again, anything that we're going to be adding to the agenda here that wasn't an agenda review is going to be something that's necessary, something that will obviously be necessary to people, and it's definitely not our intention, and we will not sort of put things on at the agenda last minute out of convenience or trying to keep people keep people in the dark on what we're doing. And also, what we're also going to do is use this as a forum to talk about issues as a board. Again, I'm not sure that there necessarily will be something every week or every month when we have these meetings, but we plan on using this as a forum to have some preliminary discussions on items. You know, and as we've talked about this, I would ask board members, you know, if they could let us know, you know, maybe at the end of business, the day before the meeting, if there are topics you'd like to cover, so that we're aware of them, and if there's something we can do to help prepare for that, we would appreciate that. And then the process for that is if you could share any information with Molly Clifford, our chief of staff. She will she'll help organize that and get that set up that way. So. With that, Madam Clerk, would you please, and again, so this is also going to be a little more informal than a town board meeting. The clerk will read the items. There won't be any moving and seconding them. And I think the way to do this, if board members want additional information, just speak up. I think that's probably the best way to do this. And because, again, I think anybody who's followed this stuff knows that a lot of what we do is incredibly routine and you know, administrative stuff with that. So with that, Madam Clerk, would you please start with the agenda?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Agenda item number 1, authorization to allow Eastman Kodak Company personnel to perform fire safety inspections on Eastman Kodak Company grounds within the town of Greece during calendar year 2026 in conformance with the Fire Code of the State of New York and applicable provisions of the Greacetown Code.
Okay, any need for discussion with the board on this? Any questions or any? Okay. Fire Marshal, okay with the arrangement? Okay.
Agenda item number 2, authorization to renew the contract with Kaplan Schmidt Electric for an additional 1-year period at the same terms and conditions. This will be the 3rd renewal of a possible 3 with a final expiration of January 31st, 2027. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
Okay, is there any discussion on this item? Any questions anybody would have?
What do we use them for?
Okay.
They're the electricians that take care of all the buildings on the campus.
Okay, anything else? Okay, next item, please.
Item number 3, authorization to enter into various agreements for programs associated with the operation of the library. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documents.
Okay, anybody have any questions on this? Any discussion?
I don't have any questions. I just want to give a shout out to the library. They do a phenomenal job over there, and I'm very happy to be able to support them. And I urge all Greece residents in Monroe County actually to check out all the great programs they put on. Like Gina said, they're having the Historical Society talk there next week. It's nonstop. The kids love it. I bring my kids there all the time. They have a good time. So check it out.
I should just mention that this is a standard monthly agenda item because of programs that are constantly going on at the library.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 4, authorization to enter into various agreements for programs associated with the operation of the center. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
Is it similar to the?
This is similar to the library because of programs that are constantly going on there every month.
All right. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, next item, please.
Item number 5, authorization to award catering services for the events at the center to Forest Hill Catering, contract to end December 31st, 2026, with the option to renew up to 3 additional years. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
Okay, anybody have any questions or discussions?
I have a question for the town attorney. I may be conflicted and may have to recuse myself from this vote. I have my sister is actually in the process of buying Forest Hills Restaurant, and so I don't know if that puts me in an issue. I can't vote on that contract.
If you feel that you can't be impartial, then you should certainly recuse yourself.
Okay.
If it's not a direct conflict, but it could be perceived as, it could be a perceived conflict, so it's totally up to you and your comfort level. If you feel that you can be impartial and make a determination, then you, by all means, but if you feel as though you should recuse yourself, even just for optics purposes, you certainly may do that.
Thank you, sir.
I got just a quick question on that. Is this year 1 of the contract with the potential of 3 or
Yes.
more years? Year 1? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I actually remember Forest Hills did the catering when I was here many years ago, so that's, it's good food, and if Mike Sheedy's selling, I'm glad a Bernard's gonna be taking it over. All right, next item, please.
Item number 6, authorization to renew the agreement with Phoenix Graphics to provide printing services from January 1, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. This is the 3rd renewal of a possible 3. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
Yeah, anybody have any comments or discussion on this? And again, this is another similar to the last one. Phoenix Graphics was doing the printing when I was here before, so we have a long track record with them. Okay, next item, please.
Item number 7, authorization to renew an agreement with Baratan ASL Interpretation Services to provide sign language interpreting services for the Greasetown Court for a period of January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
Okay, is there any comments or discussions on this? No? Okay, being none, next item, please.
Item number 8, authorization to renew agreement with Edith Forbes to provide stenographic and transcription services for the Greasetown Court for a period of January 1, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
Is there any discussion on this?
No. May I go, can I go back to 7?
Yeah, sure.
I just have a question for Ivana. Ivana, have we ever required an ASL interpreter for any town board meetings? And if so, does this firm cover the town board as well?
I believe they do, and if we do get the request, we do make sure that somebody is here for interpreting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item, please.
Item number 9, authorization to extend the following contract for an additional year with no changes in pricing and contract terms. 2025 specifications for light and heavy vehicle spring and suspension repair with three-way spring located at 1609 Mount Read Boulevard, 14616.
Okay, anybody have any questions or any discussions on this? Okay, being none, next item, please.
Item number 10, authorization to install the following signage as recommended by the Traffic Advisory Committee. Stop signs on Manitou Beach Road near Braddock's Ave.
Okay.
Yeah. How often does this committee meet, or the advisory committee? Is that the county, or?
This is the town's own Traffic Advisory. Corey, they meet once a month?
Okay. Thank you.
Who's it made up of?
I'm not part of it yet, but I plan on, and I know we have one of our engineers at the DPW on it.
Cool.
And I plan on attending as well.
Okay.
If a request for a stop sign comes in, do you do this, do you do a traffic study, or what's the threshold to grant it?
Yeah, they do a study and see why or what has happened there in the past.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no further discussion.
I have a
Next
question.
item, please.
I do have
I'm
a
sorry,
question. Yeah,
sorry.
thank you.
Councilwoman.
Sorry. Would this be the same committee, would that committee review the lights and the turning signals and things like that? Is that, or is that county?
If the traffic signals are for the county, we don't own any traffic signals. As far as I know, we have more signs in town than anything.
More stop signs,
Yep.
yeah, okay.
Street signs, stop signs.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, no further discussion. Next item, please.
Item number 11, authorization to declare fill dirt, wood chips, leaf compost, asphalt millings, and crushed concrete that town generates as surplus.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, being none, next item, please.
Item number 12, authorization to enter into an agreement with Animals First for animal shelter management software. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
Okay, is there any discussion, any questions? Okay, being none, next item, please.
Item number 13, authorization to appoint 2 full-time motor equipment operators effective January 17th, 2026.
Okay, is there any questions or discussion on this? No? Okay, being none, next item, please.
Item number 14, authorization to make various adjustments and transfers to the 2025 budget. The list will be provided. Oh, I'm sorry, this should be the 2026 budget. List will be provided and will be attached to the meeting agenda of 1:15. This is also a standard monthly agenda item from Finance.
Okay, is there any discussion on this or any questions? And I think, Mr. Natale, I think this is for the 2025 budget, right? We're going back, or we?
That was for, that's going to be for this current month that they're already. For the prior was put on.
I'm sorry, could you use the microphone? I'm sorry.
I think that one is for prospective budget adjustments for this current budget. I already have authorization to make adjustments for 25 to
That was
close
the
out
last meeting.
any necessary items.
Okay, all right, thank you. Is there any other discussion? Okay, being none, next item, please.
Item number 15, authorization to enter into a renewal agreement with Tri-Delta Resources for IT support services in off-site disaster recovery. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
Okay, any discussion or questions on that?
Mr. Supervisor, just we're going through a lot of the agreement and renewals. Are these competitively bid for these renewals and agreements?
Yeah.
Typically, yes, if all the department heads follow the procurement policy for the town, so to the extent that the bids or the contracts would be an amount that justify or warrant competitive bidding, the biddings are always done. And if there's a question, we usually seek the bids just to make sure that we've got at least, we try to get at least 3 bids or responses to come back, so there's things to choose. Obviously, you can weigh in and choose. So the answer to your question is yes. There may be certain instances where the contractors for something that's just too small, it doesn't require it. But even in that instance, I believe some of the practices I've observed from some of the department heads is to solicit multiple bids for just about everything.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or discussions? Being none, next item, please.
Item number 16, authorization to enter into an extension of the contract between the Town of Greece Police Department and Woody's Collision for vehicle collision and repair services for 2026. This is the 4th and final renewal. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all necessary documentation.
All right, any questions or discussions on that? Okay, being none, next item, please.
Item number 17, authorization to renew the agreement with UKG, formerly Kronos, for payroll support services for the Department of Public Works. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all related documents.
Okay, any questions or comments on that? Okay, being none, next item, please.
Item number 18, authorization to accept the proposal from Public Employees Risk Management Association, PERMA, for workers' compensation insurance coverage for 2026. Further authorization for the supervisor to execute all related documents.
Okay, any questions or discussions on that?
Yeah, could we get a copy of the proposal?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, next item, please.
Item number 19, authorization for designation of the Chief of Staff as a Town of Greece delegate to the Association of Towns Annual Business Session to be held on February 14th through the 17th, 2026.
Okay, let me just say, Ms. Clifford will be our representative there. In future years, that's something I would be interested in going to, but just the timing of that didn't work out from a personal standpoint. But we will be represented. I've talked to a number of people who think that those meetings are very useful and helpful. So I just want to say, did anybody have any questions or comments?
I think it's great that Molly's going in the, no need to have an alternate delegate, I don't imagine, right? Yeah, I think it's great for Molly to be there. It's very educational.
Where's this being held?
It's in New York City.
It's in New York City.
Do we need to authorize the people to travel on that?
No, I think we're good with that. I think we're good with that. Yeah, Association of Towns meets in New York City. That always struck me as a little funny, but, okay. Any other discussions on this? Okay, so this concludes the agenda that we're going to be considering next week. Like I said, it's our intention not to add things, but if things come up, we will put those out publicly as quickly as we can. One of the things we had communicated with the board about was I wanted to have a preliminary discussion, something one of the speakers had mentioned. I know, talking individually with some of the board members, there was a desire to have a forensic audit done for the town and for MuniPro. So what I want to do is sort of kick that off and just sort of state for everybody on the board, right, the town has engaged with Mangel, Metzger, and Barr as the auditors. They've been the auditors for the town for a few years. So they will be doing the regular audit that gets conducted every year with that. Now, it's also my understanding, I haven't seen it yet, but we will get it shortly within the next couple of days, and we'll give this to the board members. There was a pretty in-depth review of MuniPro's finances by an outside agency, right? That's correct, Mr. Natale, right?
MuniPro's, they get an annual audit just like the town does. We had a forensic audit on the town-wide financials as well as most of the capital projects, yeah.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll disseminate that information to the other board members. So I wanted to sort of have a discussion and see what people were thinking in terms of what we were doing. And, I'm right in the interest of transparency, in the interest of us all starting off on a good foot and making sure that things are that we're comfortable with where we are financially and where everything that's gone on is. I am open and welcome the ability to do that and have a forensic audit done, but also I would like to sort of talk about a little bit about the path forward. And what I'm wondering is, or what I would have as a suggestion to start us off and go from there is, if we were to do something with the current auditors and have them come to a board meeting and have a discussion about that, if that's something that would be a good start with that, because and also we haven't had time yet, and again, our finance director starts on Monday. We have our HR director starts on Monday as well. To sort of identify a scope of what we would do with that, because frankly, I think we need to figure that out in terms of what a forensic audit would include that isn't going to be covered by the Mengel, Metzger, and Barr engagement and their audit of our finances. But again, I think that's sort of what I would suggest maybe as a kickoff is if we do something with the auditors that we have now. I would assume we'd be able to get them to a town board meeting or an agenda review meeting and just have a discussion with them about what the scope is of what they do. Again, you know, that we have the documentation and all that, but to be able to do so in a public forum so the public has a sense of that. And also, I definitely want the board members to be comfortable with what we're doing with that. And then I think after that, that might help us define what the scope of that would be. So I'd welcome any comments or discussions from the board members.
Well, first off, I appreciate that. I think that's great, and I think that's a step in the right direction. I know that's something that I certainly, not to talk politics, but something I certainly campaigned on, not because for that reason, but because it's the right thing to do. And I think for all of us to kind of have to all be on the same page and have understanding where we stand with the town finances and the public would certainly be welcome. My only question is, and not to throw a wrench into things, but do we want to use that firm that the town has been using, or do we want to engage in another firm and kind of have the two check each other's work?
So I would ask Mr. Natale, I'm sorry to put you on the spot multiple times here. He's filling in representing finance. Could you talk a little bit about the history? I know Bonadio did the audits. Could you just explain when Bonadio stopped doing the audits, when Mengel, Metzger, and Bars took over, and just sort of talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, that's correct. Bonadio did the audit for a fairly long time, at least the amount of time that, I'm sorry. Bonadio had done the audit for about, I'm not sure the exact length of time, but at least the time that I had been working here, up until 2023. And we engaged Mendel Metzger Barr to do it. They've been doing it the last 2 years. Both are very good firms, both are very reputable, two of the largest in Rochester, both focus on, municipalities. Both are widely respected. The other audit I mentioned, the more in-depth forensic one that was done by an outside agency too. I believe her name was Catherine Barrett, and she is at Friedmaxic Battaglia.
Okay. And that's what I was referencing with the MuniPro work. So there was a separate audit done or a review done that was separate of the typical engagement of the auditor, right? That's the firm you just mentioned.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And that's what we can get and give to the board with that. But so as Mr. Natale said, they've been engaged with us for two years now. This will be their third year that they'll be coming up?
That's correct.
Okay. So, right, I mean, I'm let me put it this way. Bonadio did the audits when I was here. So Bonadio's been engaged for, I would assume probably 20 years. And then the switch with Mengel, Metzger, and Barr, I think having a new auditor after 3 years is having them do that, I'm comfortable with. Like I said, if others feel differently, I would be open to that. But I would look at this as maybe a supplement to what we're doing or something different. And again, I think, actually, I realize as I'm saying this here, right, it's important for us to figure out what the scope is, because I don't know that we need to, I know that the audit, I think it's somewhere close to $100,000. That we're committed to and that we're spending with the firm that we've done. And again, money, right, and from my perspective, money shouldn't be an issue and wouldn't be an issue in terms of how we resolve this, and everybody gets to a point where we're comfortable where the finances are. But I would just point that out, that maybe, right, as I hear myself think and as we talk here, I'm not really clear what the path forward is. And again, once we get finance director on board, talk more with our finance team with that. I think maybe we should set a goal, and it could be at the next, like I said, either not next week's town board meeting, but we could see if we could get somebody from the auditor here, sort of spell it out, and then what we can do is we can actually have the finance department also work on a scope of what might be possible with that, and then to come back here. Is having the auditor here, is that something that the board would be interested in us pursuing?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. So is that, okay. So, that was all that we had to talk about with this. And again, to the public, actually, somebody said they were surprised more people weren't here. I'm actually pleased with the number of people who are here. So thank you for coming. I'm not sure how many people are actually watching this, but we welcome your participation. But we're watching, so we welcome your participation in this. We thank you for coming, and like I said, this is the start, and you could tell this is new because I feel very awkward, and this hasn't been the smoothest presentation here. But we'll work on that, and we'll pick up on that as we get done. So with that, the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Greasetown Board will be Thursday, January 15th. So until then, we stand adjourned. Thank you.